live here at the stage at WTJU this first day of December, and we're lucky enough to have Brit Taylor coming through town for a sold-out show, and very kindly stop by the stage here for a little visit. How about you all kick off with something that we can chat?
Yeah, let's play cabin.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Well, I got a cabin in the woods. It does my soul so good. Well, come on over if you would to my cabin in the woods. Well, I got an old dog sitting on the porch. He lays there all night by the tiki torch. His legs are worn out, but his heart's still good at my cabin in the woods. Well, I wouldn't trade it for a mansion on a hill, a condo, a cobble, or $1 million bill. Only thing's missing is a little company to hunker down here by the fire with me. Hunker down here by the fire with me. Well, I got a bottle that I've been saving. Now and then, well, I feel like misbehaving. If you're ever in the mood, in the neighborhood, drop by my cabin in the woods. Well, there's an old pond through the trees, and when the leaves fall, well, you can see that Mother Nature's an artist. It's understood at my cabin in the woods. Well, I wouldn't trade it for a mansion on a hill, a condo, a cobble, or $1 million bill. Only thing missing is a little company to hunker down here by the fire with me. Hunker down here by the fire with me. Well, my cabin's always cozy, and my dog don't bite, and the pond's a little chilly in the pale moonlight. Whiskey by the fireside warms you up real good at my cabin in the woods. Come on down to my cabin in the woods.
Live here on the stage at WTJU, the sounds of Brit Taylor. And Brit, who you got up there on stage with you?
I have my handsome husband, Adam Chaffins.
Everybody, Radio Streamland.
Also my driver, hotel booker. I don't know if I'd be here without him.
Oh,
He's figuring it all out
well, you know.
while I'm putting my eyeliner on in the car.
Who does that when Adam needs to put his on?
Cruise control, my friend. Cruise control.
Thought maybe you had one of those fancy self-driving cars. Welcome
Maybe
to
someday.
WTJU.
Great
Thank
to be
you.
here.
Thank you for having us.
Have you been through Charlottesville before?
I don't reckon I have. Have you?
I've been through Charlottesville. I haven't played a show here in a long time. It's been a while.
Well, as my friends and neighbors, born and raised in this Commonwealth, will tell you, Kentucky was originally part of Virginia. So they still consider it that way. So you're really Virginians anyway. So.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew I liked it.
There
I
you
was
go.
just looking at all the pretty mountains coming through here, thinking it looks like home.
Well, I'm talking about Kentucky. Of course, both of you are from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yep.
born and raised.
Not County, Kentucky. We have to use the counties because you just wouldn't know the cities know
I
how.
get it. Before we went on air, I was telling you I had kin in Clay County, so just matter where you're from.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what got you into music, Britt.
So like I said, I grew up in East Kentucky along the Country Music Highway, US 23, which is 123 miles long, running through Kentucky, I think.
I don't know the mileage.
What's crazy about the mileage is it's not a lot, and along that highway comes Loretta Lynn, Dwight Yoakam, Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, Patty Loveless, Larry Cordell,
Gary Stewart.
Ricky Skaggs. Everybody
Judds,
along this.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes, yeah. And the list goes
Did you
on.
say Dwight Yoakam yet?
I did.
Well, I'd say something's in the water, but it might be more of the moonshine.
It might be the moonshine, but
Or
we're
the
both.
mercury from all the coal factories.
Well, I wasn't going to get into the whole coal mining thing. It's a sad story there.
But we grew up along this highway, and the culture around country music and supporting local musicians and singers and songwriters is just amazing there. And there's this place called the Mountain Arts Center, and they had a little tourist group that kids could join a band. So I've been in a band since I was 7 years old, singing on a stage at the Mountain Arts Center in the Kentucky Opry Junior Pros since I was 7. And I did that until I was 17 and then moved to Nashville.
And when did you write your first song?
I was 13. I think when I was 13, my boyfriend broke up with me, and I wrote my first song.
Is that still part of your set list?
No.
All right. Well, do you ever go back and take some of your earlier tunes, not necessarily going all the way back to 13, but something that maybe you started a few years back and try to rewrite them, or are those placeholders?
Yeah, sometimes. Maybe someday I'll go back to some of those songs, but right now they just feel like a jacket that don't quite fit right anymore. Because those songs, all my songs are personal. Even I try to make it relatable to other people too, but it's coming from a personal place. And I'm older now. I moved to Nashville when I was 17, so some of those songs are for 17-year-old Brit and not me anymore.
Yeah, I was talking to Daryl Scott about that, and he says, it's obviously a wonderful songwriter himself and written a little bit about Eastern Kentucky. And he said, those are, it's tough to go back and try to change something that's already out there because different place in my life.
Yeah, definitely.
And how about you, Adam? When did you first pick up the guitar?
Well, I started playing real younger. I've actually started playing the bass first. And I kind of, jumped around playing bass with a bunch of different people, and playing the guitar was always a thing that kind of went, beside it. But I went to school as a bass player and kind of got going in Nashville doing that. And then I started writing songs a whole lot more, which I did was a big reason I wanted to move to Nashville. So the guitar always kind of just went along with the songs more than it did trying to learn it as an individual instrument as much as I did, as a bass player with a more professional pedigree. I never really did that with the guitar. So it always followed the song more than anything, I think.
Yeah, you have to be able to play guitar. I remember a piano teacher in Kentucky, right before I was getting, like a year before I was getting ready to move to Nashville, he said, "How you going to pack that piano around in downtown Nashville?" I said, "Well, I don't know." And he goes, you're not going to make it unless you learn how to play guitar. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go get a guitar then. So I went and got one.
Well, I was just chatting the other day with a wonderful duo out of South Carolina known as the Foreign Landers. David Benedict used to be in the group Mile 12, and I asked the question, so do you keep an instrument in each room? He said, yeah, we've got 3 or 4 different instruments in each room, so depending on what we want to write for, we pick up that instrument.
Yeah, definitely. There's a different song in every instrument, even every different guitar.
And, well, I've got questions about your guitars you're holding, but how about we get another tune from you?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do one from that record. I'm going to do one from my first record that kind of sparked everything else that's happened for me since. Like I said, I've been in Nashville for 15 years now. I decided next year I'm going to start lying about that. Next year I've only been there for 7. Just got here. But it's been a rough little trip, and I wrote this song and finally got the guts to just release it myself. And from there, everything else has kind of happened. It's called Waking Up Ain't Easy. Hey son, please don't come up. Coffee don't bother filling my cup. Hey morning bird, don't go singing outside my window. Sweet dreams, please don't end, and let reality set in. Wanna keep my head laid down here on this pillow. 'Cause waking up ain't easy. It's hard enough just breathing. Without you I can't face another day. Waking up ain't easy. I could spend my whole life sleeping, 'cause in my dreams you're not so far away. As soon as my eyes open and my feet hit the floor, I look around, reminded you're not here anymore. As soon as my eyes open and my feet hit the floor, I look around, reminded you're not here anymore. Waking up ain't easy. It's hard enough just breathing. Without you I can't face another day. Waking up ain't easy. I could spend my whole life sleeping, 'cause in my dreams you're not so far away. Oh, 'cause in my dreams you're not so far away.
One from Brit Taylor's first album, Real Me. And hey, speaking of albums, I hear you've got a new one coming out.
I do, on February 3rd.
Kentucky
So
Blue.
excited. It's called Kentucky Blue. I made that record with David Ferguson and Sturgill Simpson.
And speaking of Sturgill, I heard tell you got a Christmas song coming out.
Oh, we do. We have a Christmas song coming out that we actually produced together. And it's a duet with Mike and the Moon Pies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's a great Christmas song.
I didn't write it, but I wish that I would have. A buddy, Jason White, wrote it, and he's a big hit songwriter. And we actually wrote Cabin in the Woods that we played earlier together. And one day he sent me this Christmas song, and he said, if you ever need a Christmas song, this makes me think of you. And I was like, oh, my God, I wish that I'd written that with you. It puts me in the mind of Karen Carpenter and Willie Nelson had a baby, and it sings this Christmas song.
Now, that's something to think about. Willie and Karen Carpenter together. I've got headache, nightmares or dreams. I'm not sure
Yeah,
which.
I don't know.
Well, those just checking us out, we've got Brit Taylor with us, and she's got Adam with her fine husband, and they are out touring right now. They're in town on this first day of December for a sold-out show with Blackberry Smoke, but you've also got some other gigs coming up before you close things out for the year. I see you're going to be at the let me get this right. The Fillmore coming up tomorrow night, and then you're going to be at the Purple Fiddle in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And tour just keeps on going on all the way through until, as I look at it, the 11th of December. You're closing things out at the Jefferson Theater there in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So folks should check out BritTaylorMusic.com to see where these two will be.
Yeah. Come see us.
Well, you're both songwriters, so do you sometimes write together?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll play you a song that we wrote together. Yeah. I cut this next song we're going to do on my new record with Sturgill, and I think it's Sturgill's favorite song because it's a little catty about Nashville and the current climate of country music. But although I do think it's getting a lot better and is way better than it has been. But
well,
that's probably why Sturgill likes this song.
I did want to dig into that. You know, this Nashville, you know, with the bro country and everything, is just, it's not the Nashville a lot of folks think of anymore. So
it's strange. It has changed a lot since I moved there, which I think any generation will tell you that. It's like, I don't know, we listened to a podcast. It's like, who really messed up country music? And it talks about everybody from Elvis Presley to people now. So I don't know, but I do think it's getting better. We had Patty Loveless on the CMA Awards this past couple weeks ago, and she's just my all-time favorite. Also from Kentucky, from the US 23. I don't know if I mentioned her earlier, but she was on there. Ricky Skaggs was on there. So I am hopeful.
yeah, it's good to see that country, as a lot of folks think of it, is still out there. You know, some folks blame Chet Atkins for bringing in that whole polished sound, so that's going back a ways. But country is always there at the core, and it's not going to go anywhere as long as you got folks like you out there playing behind it. So, well, you mentioned one that you did together. How about we hear it?
Yeah, this is called No Cowboys. I'll play it in the right key there. If you're looking for love, if you're looking for tough, someone to rope you in a lasso the moon, pick you in no country tune, if you want the ride of your life, rough hands to hold you at night. Get swept off your feet with a two-step, right off into the sunset. Well, I hate to break it to you this way, but you come to the wrong place. There ain't no cowboys left in this town. They hung up their saddles and laid there, let it go down. Maybe they're in Texas or old Mexico, Mexico, Montana, where the wild horses roam. Well, I've looked all around. There ain't no cowboys left in this town. Well, you'll see Wranglers and boots, 10-gallon Stetson hats too, and shiny new Silverados, desperate to be desperados. But there's no cowboys left in this town. They hung up their saddles and laid there, let it go down. Maybe they're in Texas or old Mexico, then Scott, Montana, where the wild horses roam. I've looked all around. There ain't no cowboys left in this town. There ain't no cowboys left in this town. They hung up their saddles and laid there, let it go down. You won't find no rain holding rodeo slinger, no neon lit loner, no real country singer. They're nowhere to be found. There ain't no cowboys, no more cowboys left in this town.
Live here at the stage at WTJU. The sounds of Brit Taylor there doing a co-write with her husband Adam. There ain't no cowboys left in this town, or
No cowboys.
no
Yep.
cowboys. And is that going to be on the upcoming release?
It will be.
Kentucky Blue. And let's talk about Kentucky. And of course, you talked about that Route 23 and how that's deep in the blood of what you're doing and where you're from. But you've been out of that state for a little while now. Where is the music taking you across the globe? So you've been able to bring that Kentucky pride.
Oh gosh. Well, you know, when I got to Nashville, I really just put my head down and started writing.
All right.
So, you know, Tyler Childers and Sturgill Simpson they went at it a different way, and I don't think there is any wrong or right way, but they got on the road and hit the road in their van and just started touring. And they were writing too, but I kind of got involved in the whole Nashville scene of writing in the publishing world. I entered my first publishing deal with 300 songs before I ever even signed it, none of which I would play for anybody ever.
All right.
And so I really haven't toured that much.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to get to see the world. And Adam's done a lot of touring himself and with other bands playing bass, but I've only done short trips in the Southeast and, you know, just around Kentucky and Tennessee, and so yeah, I'm excited to take Kentucky wherever I go, though.
Well, I know you're going up to Boston, playing at the House of Blues coming up. So
Yes, never been there. I've never been to New York, so.
Did I see your
first time in Brooklyn coming?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, check out BritTaylorMusic.com to see where they're coming, and you can welcome Brit to show that there is some Yankee love for sounds coming up from the South. Well, I mentioned those guitars, and let's start with yours, Brit. What do you have?
It's a Gibson. It's a 1967 B25, small body. I bought it from some kid at Belmont. Had it for sale, and I don't know why he sold it, but he did, and I love her.
There's been some fun upgrades to that guitar, though, which makes it a little more player-friendly.
Yeah, it had to be done.
And it was supposedly owned by a
Tom Bukovac.
a well-known, respected studio musician named Tom Bukovac. So never confirmed that with him. So if you're watching,
We
Tom,
have to someday.
maybe this is your guitar. I think he's owned a lot of them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there has been a lot of songs written on this guitar since 1967.
And Adam?
This is a Martin D28. It's an 08, and this is actually Brit's guitar that she played primarily for quite a while.
It's the sound of bluegrass.
Yeah.
Then I got this one, and it's so small, I got lazy.
Aha.
It's just so comfortable.
Well, this is a question that I'm always curious about with folks who have guitars. How many are there back at your home?
Oh gosh.
What else do we have?
There's
just
well, counting, all instruments together.
there's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just have
Over
3 more guitars at the house.
Okay, and how
But
many
these are the
basses?
only 2 we
There's
take on the
4.
road.
There's 4, and there's an electric, and
Yeah, I was just
Bunch
thinking
of
acoustics.
Basses and acoustics, yeah.
Well, you can count electric, you know.
We don't have enough though. If you got
No.
a guitar
Never
out
have
there,
enough.
If
So,
Gibson's
you want us to
watching.
play, we'll play them.
so when you're back home and you're playing around the area, do you play with a larger band, or is it typically just the duo?
We do. We actually were traveling with the band quite a bit. We opened up for Dwight Yoakam earlier this year with a full band in Alabama. It just depends on what who we're playing for and what they want. If they want a band, we bring a band. But the Dwight Yoakam show we did, we had fiddle, steel guitar, drums, piano. It's the full country experience. It's my dream band to hopefully get to play all the gigs that way.
You got to listen to the songs, the records,
Yeah.
to hear the whole experience.
Well, speaking of records, who do you have playing with you on Kentucky Blue coming out in February?
Oh my goodness. Sir Duncan is on fiddle. Miles Miller, who played on Sturgill and Tyler's records, he's on drums. Mark Howard is on acoustic guitar. Dave Rowe is on bass and upright. Russ Paul is on steel. Who else is on that record? Mike Roja on keys. I mean, it's the dream team. Like, they played on all my dream records. We actually did a demo session the other day for some songs I've written to be pitched to other artists. And we had hired Russ to come, and I played him a song. And I was like, and I want it to sound like this Patti Loveless song. And he was like, oh, I played that. And I was like, of course you did.
Well, I want to talk about writing for others, but how about you do another one first?
Yeah. You want to do Rich Little Girl? Or do you want to do Kentucky Blue? Kentucky Blue?
And it's a perfect segue.
And we'll do
for the
Kentucky Blue.
Talk.
This, there was no question when I was going to name this record. When we wrote this song and I knew this song was going on the record, I was like, this record has to be called Kentucky Blue. And this single's out right now along with Cabin in the Woods and another song called Rich Little Girl. Right now on Spotify and Apple and everywhere you stream music. I've been Texas tired, I've been New York wired, I've been Louisiana lonesome too. I've been Colorado high, and I wish I was tonight, but I'm just Kentucky blue, Kentucky blue. That's where I've been since I lost you. And as far as I can see, till you come back to me, I'll be Kentucky blue. Well, I hope you and that girl are on top of the world in whatever town you're in Tennessee. I gotta have a bottle of red, and your wife lies in my head, turning everything I see into green. Kentucky blue. That's where I've been since I lost you. And as far as I can see, till you come back to me, I'll be Kentucky blue. Was the color of your eyes, was the color of the sky, the day you said you loved me, but that was just a lie. Now the only blue that's real is the blue you made me feel when you said goodbye. Kentucky blue. That's where I've been since I lost you. And as far as I can see, till you come back to me, I'll be Kentucky blue. That's where I've been since I lost you. And as far as I can see, till you come back to me, I'll be Kentucky blue.
The title track to Brit Taylor's upcoming album, Kentucky Blue, out that single right now on all the major streaming platforms. And, of course, check out BritTaylorMusic.com to see when they will be playing in your area. Well, before you played that song for us, Brit, you talked about writing for others. And when you write a song, are you sometimes thinking, okay, I'm going to write a song now for me, or I'm writing this for someone else's voice? How does that work?
It just depends whatever room you're in and what the idea in the room that day is, or what idea pops in your head that day. I really don't set a goal like that to write for anybody in particular. I just set a goal to write a really great song, because I think if you write a really great song, then it'll get into the right hands. And
somebody will be able to find his or her own interpretation of that song.
Yeah, they get all that stuff done in the studio.
Adam, how about you? Are you, when you're writing, same thing, or?
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm writing a song with multiple people, especially if there are other singer, artists or writers, it's like I would like to write a song that me, you, or anyone outside of this room would want to sing for people or play for people or record and release, So for me, it's always just try to find, the best thing of whatever you can create with who you're with, and let the chips fall where they may,
Yeah. Sometimes you get a good one, and
sometimes
you hope to God nobody ever cuts it.
And sometimes you leave there being like, oh, this won't happen, and then a little down the line, someone hits you up and they're like, hey,
we recorded
releasing
that
song we did, and you're like, I never thought that'd see the light of day, and you hear it again, and you're like, wow, I'm glad this deserved to be heard. This is awesome, So songs are funny. Someone once told me it's like the dark arts. Songwriting is the dark arts. That it's, it's always changing and ever flowing, and there's no real set pattern to any of it.
There's a bunch of rules just so that you can.
There's a bunch of rules that everyone tries to break creatively. I feel like that's the whole game. It's fun.
Yeah. You mentioned Daryl Scott earlier. He's one of our favorites, and he's just a genius at that, breaking the rules and following them and then breaking them again. He's such a great songwriter.
Well, I know you all have to get off to your sound check for this sold out show, but how about we get one more from you?
Yeah. Like I said, I moved to Nashville 15 years ago and went to college, and then I signed a publishing deal, and then I quit the publishing deal because I just didn't like the songs I was being expected to write. And at that point, I think I had signed it when I was 23, and I didn't know who I was at 23, and then spending 4 or 5 years on a deal where people was telling me who I was and who I needed to be. I just one day woke up and was like, I have no idea who I am or what I want to say as an artist. And so I quit and had $0. And my story is no different from other artists in Nashville. We all have the same story. We struggle. We wait tables. I have friends that paint houses so that they can afford to put out records themselves, because not everybody gets offered a record deal. We haven't yet. And so we clean houses and churches on the side so that we can put money in the van and get our hotel rooms and pay the band and do all that stuff. And it's just things that people don't always see. But we'll do anything that it takes, because that's how much we love music, and we love making it and playing it with our friends and for our new friends that we've never met before. And but sometimes I wonder what it'd be like to be a rich little girl, so I wrote this song. Well, rich little girls are cute and funny. Rich little girls spend daddy's money. Everything's always pretty and sunny in their perfect world. Well, I'm now working my fingers to the bone, hoping this car keeps hanging on. And there ain't no bank just handing out loans to a working girl. 9 to 5, honey, I wish more like 24/7. The only days off that I'm gonna get are when I get to heaven. rich little girls have rich little friends. They ride around town in the Rovers and their Benz, doing cocaine. The party never ends in their perfect world. While they're all staying out all night long, I'm clocking in at the crack of dawn. It's what you gotta do to keep the lights turned on when you're working, girl. 9 to 5, honey, I wish more like 24/7. The only days off that I'm gonna get are when I get to heaven. Clink, clink, they drink champagne, another $100 ain't no thing. I'm digging through the cushions for a little bit of change to put a little gas in the tank. Rich little girls smell like flowers, posing on their phones for hours and hours. They got all the money, so they got all the power in their perfect world. Well, everybody plays with the cards they're dealt. Hey, everybody's gotta work it out for theirself, and I wouldn't wanna be anybody else but a working girl. 9 to 5, honey, I wish more like 24/7. The only days off that I'm gonna get are when I get to heaven. 9 to 5, honey, I wish more like 24/7. The only days off that I'm gonna get are when I get to heaven. When I get to heaven.
Live here at the stage, WTJU, the sounds of Brit Taylor. And do check out BritTaylorMusic.com, and maybe you'll even hear about this recent Cavern concert
Yeah.
that Brit did.
Yeah, check that out for sure. It's on PBS streaming for the next 30 days, and then I think they'll have some clips up on YouTube after that.
And while you're over at BritTaylorMusic.com, do check out where they're playing and details on this upcoming album, Kentucky Blue, out February 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.